Hi and welcome back to the Go Karts and Good Times YouTube channel. Today's star is going to be a little bit different than usual, making a run to the local pick and parts yard. Fair warning, this is me from the future saying that at the beginning of this video, I didn't know that I was going to be selling the go-kart. Still stick around because you get to see a little bit about this engine and you get to see the final stages of this go-kart. As you can see here, all my tools are ready to be brought on the go. We're struggling to get this exhaust off for way too long. I think that's what we're gonna go with. While we're here, we also find a set of carburetors that we wanted to grab, but we don't know if we're going to buy them, so we hid them for next time. While these carburetors are pretty crusty, I haven't taken them off to see how bad they are. I also found this length of exhaust by the side of the road. While it looks like a piece of junk to anyone else, I think this might be useful in some project sooner or later.
The one-wheel go-kart was 3.5 horsepower with long gearing, didn't really give it the heavy as it.
It's been quite some time since the last video clip about my go-kart and this engine, and in that time I've done a lot of thinking. Going forward with my life, being a senior in high school, I'm not going to have much use for a go-kart past these high school years and summer, so I've decided to get the engine running and get my go-kart presentable so that I can post it on Facebook Marketplace. I'll most likely end up selling the engine and the go-kart separate, and I'll have them at a price that makes it so I can't refuse. And this will give me a good amount of starter money to move on to a different project like a car. Considering the future, a car will be much more useful, and considering the time and effort that I put into doing this swap, I can just have something that I can actually do on the road. It turns out it doesn't actually matter if you have a go-kart that can do 80 if you can't do 80 anywhere. This is really more of an update video than anything, so I'm not going to be showing an in-depth process of getting this thing in working condition. We're going to start off with a general cleanup and replacing things like screws that are stuck in the block or other parts of the engine. Carbs and the ignition system on this thing are pretty crusty, so hopefully we can clean them up and get them working. Being honest, this thing doesn't even look that bad. Back. After the events of the past few days, I haven't been working on the go-kart or this engine really, just thinking about what I can do in the future. Also, this time has allowed me to order parts for the go-kart that it severely needs. I haven't bought a belt in a long time, and the brackets on the front lights have been snapped forever. So, both of these parts have arrived in the mail, and I want to get them installed. Forgot to film a conclusion last time we worked on this. Basically, we just spent a bunch of time messing with the electrical system and trying to get spark. We were able to get it on and off, but still have no idea what the problem is or if the points and condenser are working. The state of this engine and the fact that I'm most likely not going to be using it is the reason it's become a back burner project that I don't really care that much about. Before I list this for sale, I also want to resolve any jankiness and remove all zip ties or anything that might give a future owner problems with riding or everyday use. While I'm at it, I'm also replacing the fuel filter. Just like that, it's put all back together with the belt on and ready to go. I'm going to take it for a test drive, then I'm going to work on the wiring up front. After cleaning up the carb and oiling everything up, it seems to run and work great. Now just on to making it reliable and cleaning up the electrical. Unfortunately, I ran out of the one crimp connector I actually need to make the horn removable. But otherwise, the headlights are done, so now I can plug in a battery and test it all out. With the correct supplies acquired, I can finally move on to installing the horn. And with that, it's all done. After taking it for another rip, I'm reminded of all the reasons I love this thing and the reasons I hated it. The no suspension is a little bit rough in the bumpy yard, and I forgot how easily this thing flies through belts. It really is a solid kart, but I think it's time for something new. The filter and some belts acquired, the time has finally come to sell the go-kart. I'm going to get this stuff on, then ride it around for a last send-off. I'm realizing now while editing the video that I never said anything to close it out or to commemorate the sale of the go-kart. While I'm sure it doesn't mean much to most, there's now a strange go-kart sized hole in my garage. And while it was just a go-kart, it gave me years of fun and adventures in the backyard and in the woods behind my house. While I know this video has been a little bit confusing and all over the place, I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you liked, commented, or even subscribed. Hopefully you too are staying safe and wrenching on your own projects. Now enjoy one last edit of the longest lasting project I've ever had.